I wasn't looking for it. I never was. But there it was, her laptop, left open on the kitchen counter, the soft hum of its fan filling the quiet room. I froze, heart hammering, when I noticed the conversation still open. Names I didn't recognize, messages filled with the kind of words I'd once reserved for myself. My stomach twisted as if it knew before I did, before my brain had even processed what I was seeing. At first, I questioned myself. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe I was reading too much into innocent jokes, harmless flirtation. I closed my eyes and replayed the past few weeks. Missed calls I blamed on her being busy, small excuses for late nights that had once seemed trivial, little gestures I now realized were evasions. My mind raced through every laugh, every touch, every word that suddenly felt coated with a lie. I tried to push it away, tried to tell myself I was imagining things. But the evidence was right there, blinking on the screen like a warning. The messages weren't just casual. There was a rhythm, an intimacy, the kind you don't share with someone you simply chat with. My chest tightened. The air felt heavier, as if the house itself had turned against me. I remember the nights she came home smelling faintly of perfume I didn't recognize. The mornings when her phone slipped from her pocket, just long enough to see a name flash and quickly disappear. I'd laughed it off, called myself paranoid, told myself trust was more important than suspicion. I'd been wrong. The betrayal didn't feel cinematic. There were no dramatic confrontations, no shouting matches, just a cold, quiet realization that the person I loved had been carrying a secret I wasn't supposed to know. My hand shook as I moved the cursor to close the chat. Part of me wanted to see more, to understand, to scream. But another part, the part that still loved her despite everything, knew that looking further would only deepen the wound. I closed it, and in that click, I closed the chapter with her. The days that followed were hollow. I watched her make breakfast, laugh at things I once found endearing, and every smile felt like a knife twisting in memory. Every touch I once cherished now carried the ghost of what I had discovered. I replayed moments, wondering which were real, which had been performative, which had been lies. My mind didn't settle. It kept circling, like a storm refusing to break. I tried to confront her, gently at first, letting her explain. She hesitated, avoided my eyes, and when she finally spoke, the words were tinged with guilt and justification. She claimed it wasn't what I thought, that it was meaningless, that it hadn't meant anything. But her voice, once the melody I leaned on, sounded hollow. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to forgive. But trust, once broken, isn't something you patch with words alone. So I chose silence. I chose myself. Packing my things, I noticed the small details one last time. The mug she left by the sink, the half-finished book on the nightstand, the scent of her perfume lingering in the hallway. All memories now tinted with the knowledge of betrayal. I left the house without a scene, without accusation, because I wanted the dignity of my own exit, the quiet strength of a man who refused to be shattered by deceit. As I drove away, the city lights blurred, rain streaking the windshield, I realized that pain doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, cold and insistent, reshaping you from the inside. I felt sorrow, yes, but also clarity. I had loved fully, trusted fully, and now I would rebuild with a lesson seared into my bones. Her laptop remained on that counter, the screen dark, the conversation gone, but the echo of what I'd seen would stay with me, a reminder that love isn't enough when honesty dies. I didn't hate her. I didn't even rage. I simply closed the laptop, closed my heart to that chapter, and stepped into a future I would write on my own terms. And for the first time in weeks, I breathed